Hi, I'm Marissa Bishop. Hi, I'm Noelle Napon.
Hi, I'm Riley Newman. Hi, I'm Kayla Vance.
We've Got Chemistry, here to present the Hydro Replenish Pro, aka HRP.
Okay, so the major issue we chose to do was beach erosion, and we specifically chose the Outer Banks because it relates more to us since we vacation there a lot. My grandparents also have a beach house there. So beach erosion is the loss or displacement of land along the coast, mostly due to waves and wind action. It affects beach houses better, specifically like on stilts, because you can't really sustain water surrounding it all the time. It also affects tourism, obviously, because if there's a cliff of sand, it's pretty hard to enjoy the beach, which also affects business productivity in the town in general. So the Outer Banks is a barrier beach. This means that storms hit it pretty hard, as well as waves, which makes the erosion process faster. Every year, climate change makes the water rise a little bit. It's projected to rise 8 feet by the end of the century. So as you can see, over 3 years, this house up here isn't even there anymore because of all the water that rose. So storms definitely facilitate this process. And then, as you can see, like Hurricane Florence, there's so much beach, and then all of the water it almost made it to that house as well as this house. So after these big storms, we would bring in the device that we created to restore the beach.
So, we decided to incorporate a few other existing solutions into our device. So one of the first things we decided to include was geotextiles right here. As you can see, there's a range of different options. But the biggest thing about it is that it is very resistant to UV degradation, and it is also pretty resistant to bacterial influence. So it's going to be something that's long lasting, and it's not going to break down easy, and it's really good for the environment. And this is basically what we're going to be using in our tubing for our device. And then next, we also decided to incorporate a device called Whisper Wave. And basically it's made out of a special type of plastic that helps absorb the wave energy when it comes in. So it keeps the waves from carrying as much sand with them. But mostly the biggest part is that it's absorbing the wave energy. And we decided to incorporate this plastic into our submersible, which is going to be going under and selecting the spots to use the sand. So another thing we decided to incorporate was beach nourishment, as you can see here. And usually from this, sand is taken from other places, and then it is spread out by this machine and it's flattened out to recover the coast and the erosion that has occurred and rebuild the beach a bit. And for us, we'll be taking sand from further out, so it's not as imported and it's not as costly. And we'll be having other people help do it as well. And then some solutions we decided not to incorporate but are available are groins, which is kind of a wall that runs perpendicular to the ocean to stop from longshore waves that cause erosion. And longshore waves are just ones that kind of come diagonally. But as you can see, it only really helps for one side, because here the sand has built up, and that's great, but you can still see the erosion on the left side of where the waves are not coming from. And then we also have sandbags that are a choice, but we decided not to include this as well because they're a bit unsightly, and overall they're not that effective and they just don't really help that much, and we didn't think it would work well with our device.
So with all the aforementioned solutions that we just discussed, we combined 3 technologies: Whisper Wave, geotextile tubes, and beach nourishment to come up with the Hydro Replenish Pro. That is this device you see here. The Hydro Replenish Pro is made with Whisper Wave technology, so the body itself is able to submerge underwater and is durable against breaking wave attacks. So the arm of the Pro extends outward and dredges sand into this opening here. Then, by using hydroelectric power, we have turbines inside that pump the sand through a filter. The filter also manages to keep organisms, such as a starfish for instance, from going into the tubes. These turbines will then shut off for a period of time after the sand has made its way through the filter, allowing the organisms to go back out in a reverse turbine process, where they will be put back out to sea. Once the sand has made its way through the filter, these hydroelectric turbines on each of the 7 geotextile tubes will turn on, pumping sand to the shore. And this deposited sand beach pile is where it will all be. After this sand pile has been deposited, we will use beach nourishment teams to replenish the beach shore. But the tourists, what about them? We have sand dune barriers to prevent them from crossing over the lines and for any danger from them on the beach. So keeping everyone safe, animals and people, we have the Hydro Replenish Pro.
So with the implementation of the HRP, there is actually a huge cost benefit. So, of course, initially we are going to have to put in a decent amount of money into this device. However, since we chose to use hydroelectric power, we will ultimately be saving a lot of money. In addition to the cost benefit, we will also be benefiting the tourist industry and tourists themselves. So, after hurricanes or any other bad weather in coastal areas, there's typically a drought in sales of tourist industries, and tourists cannot usually go onto the beach. However, since the HRP is so efficient, tourists will be able to go on the beach, as you can see in this image, and businesses will also be able to be open longer. In addition to the human benefit, sea life will also benefit from the HRP. So sea turtles, crabs, and other animals will all be able to have their homes restored through the replenishment of sand that the HRP brings. In addition, the HRP incorporates a filter. Therefore, if any animals in the water were to get trapped in the device, the filter would simply push them back out into the ocean. And 2 of these images were even taken from the Outer Banks themselves. So, when you put the combination of happy people and happy animals, you ultimately get happiness all around, which is what the HRP will bring to you.